Hello, ladies and gamers. Today we have a very special video for you. I wanted to kind of do my first impressions. So this video will kind of be like right after I first played my first playthrough. And I'm just going to go over kind of like the basic stuff and whether it's you should get the game or not. Now, there will be some spoilers. I'll try and keep away from too much. So if you feel, like you don't want anything spoiled, that is okay. The only stuff I will be spoiling is gameplay-wise stuff. I don't plan to spoil story stuff that much. Again, why are you playing this game for its story? I don't know, but, just in case you're wondering. So in this video, we're just going to kind of go over the basic stuff, such as, like, the story, difficulty, Ryu. We're going to go over Yakumo, camera, enemies, bosses, DLC. Now, here's the thing. This one's going to be kind of a little bit of a rambling video. So, there should be timestamps for the YouTube video. So, if you just want to skip around, go for it, man. Absolutely go for it. And, in fact, I think that's the best way to watch this video, honestly. So, before we get started, I think I should at least mention my history with Ninja Gaiden. I just want to say, I beat Ninja Gaiden 1 Black. I'm halfway through Ninja Gaiden 2, the OG Ninja Gaiden 2, by the way, the vanilla version, the Xbox 360 version. And then I played just a tiny bit of Ninja Gaiden 3. So I am by no means a huge Ninja Gaiden expert. My opinion may change and evolve depending on how I feel playing these games. Anyway, alright, so now that we're just in here in the training mode, let's just go over the basic stuff. Story. Okay, so story in this game is borderline awful. The marketing of this game kind of led you to believe that, like, Yakumo, our new character, he's gonna be great. We don't know what his intentions are, blah, blah, blah. In this game, fucking story does not matter. Ryu gets sidelined, but we'll get to Ryu a bit later on. Having said that, Yakumo takes up as the protagonist. They really want you to make you feel for characters. There's especially one point at the end of the story where they're like, oh, you really care for this character? And then you're just kind of sitting here like, no. It's because we didn't have any build-up. We didn't have any good interactions or anything like that. So, like, why? Also, the other issue by far in this game is the dialogue. Maybe this is a translation thing, but, like, the dialogue in this game is ass. It's terrible. Mostly because, for some reason, and I do not know why, for some reason they wanted to do borderline MCU humor type stuff, where they want you to laugh. Because in previous Ninja Gaiden games, it was cheesy, and it was like, oh, you're fighting a giant worm all of a sudden, it's like, but Ryu never took any of that seriously. Versus this game wants you to laugh at, like, multiple points with, like, quirky-ass dialogue, and it's fucking stupid. There's also quite a few twists in this story that just do not make sense. So, overall, story is not worth getting invested in. Do not come into this game expecting a good story. It is not that good. And honestly, like, I get it. Some people are going to say, it's a Ninja Gaiden game. Are you really expect it to be, have a good story? And I was like, no, but even, look, the bar is pretty low, but, like, I was here, you hit me like here, buddy. Like, damn. So like I said, story just, like, it's not a thing. Do not come into this game expecting a good story. So, with the story out of the way, let's talk about something else that I think is very important to talk about right off the bat. Difficulty. Now, difficulty in this game is actually a lot easier than you think. So, there's many different things to mention about this game's difficulty. Is this game hard? To a degree, yes. It is a challenging game to an extent. However, the game knows this, so they make it as forgiving as possible. And what do I mean by that? Well, I didn't even know this until I started playing, but if you die, like let's just say you're stuck on a boss and you die over and over again, sometimes this game will give you health items. Like health items you can keep before the fight. So if you're struggling, and then like you die like 3 times, the game will go, okay, here's a health item. So it's really nice, honestly. This game is very nice. Also, the other point to mention is that there are really forgiving checkpoints. Even if you do a boss fight back to back to back, if you go start from checkpoint, it will do after the last boss that you beat. So you don't have to like redo another boss. So if there's double bosses beforehand, you don't have to worry all that much. Plus, you can get items and other stuff like that beforehand as well because they usually have a little spot. So yes, like I said, this game is hard. Don't get me wrong. This game is hard to an extent, but like it's not as hard as it could be. This is not a Ninja Gaiden 1 Black. This is not a Ninja Gaiden 2. The game is easier than you think. So don't let that be a huge drag on you. Don't feel like this game you can't play this game because yeah, it is difficult, but it's like it's a very forgiving type of difficult. You know what I mean? This leads me to by far the next thing to talk about, and that is Ryu. Oh, Ryu. So Ryu, obviously known for being the protagonist of not just like 3 games, because technically you need to think about it that he's also been the protagonist of Sigma, Black, for all the games, and then Razor's Edge obviously. So like he's not just the protagonist, he's a core part of the series. Having said that, he absolutely gets replaced in this game. And I think I mentioned that a little bit, but it's not just story-wise, but gameplay-wise too. I know there's wind elements and stuff like this, but I never felt the need to use them. And he only... Okay, so let me just start off right off the bat. Let's address the elephant in the room. Ryu, in all the games, has a really good moveset. He has really good weapons. He's got a lot of diversity in his kit. That makes him feel a lot of fun. If you want to go into one level doing one thing and then in the next level do another, you know, it's good like that. However, in this game, for some reason, Ryu only gets the Dragon Sword. Why? I do not know. And then, on top of all this, even after the fact that he has one weapon, the game was like, you know what? You remember DMC4? Do you guys remember DMC4? You know the part where like you had to play as Dante, and you had to do Nero's levels but backwards and face the same bosses? This game does it too! For no reason. And he is like, Ryu is less playable than Dante is in DMC5. And Dante's only in that game for 1/3 of the time. Ryu gets like 3 levels, and 3 or 2 levels, and then it's over for him. You're done. And you have to redo the bosses, redo the levels. It's not fun. So I don't even know why they bothered to put him in this game, honestly. He's just that, not interesting, you know. The only thing they really changed about his moveset is obviously the Berserk and then the Blood Raven form. As you can see on the bottom left right over there, I have a little bar, and with Ryu, you can do these like little fast, quick slashes. It kind of reminds me of Judgment Cut End from DMC. So, I mean, other than that, he doesn't feel that good. So, he not only gets sidelined gameplay-wise, but story-wise, too. He is, like, in this game for, like, a fraction of a time. Honestly, I'll say this, and I'll say it again. They should honestly name this game Ninja Gaiden Rebirth or something to make it sound more like a reboot, because this is not Ninja Gaiden 4. This is Ninja Gaiden rebooted. Alright, so, anyway, Ryu, not that interesting. His moveset very thin. We'll get to the DLC stuff later. I know that's something you guys want to hear me talk about, but I won't get into that just yet. What are you doing? What is this guy doing? You okay, buddy? Alright, with that I'm going to switch over to my Yakumo. So this is your last chance. If you don't want any gameplay spoilers, because there are some weapons that I'm going to spoil for you. But most of it has already been shown off in previous betas and tests and other stuff. So let's kind of rapid fire real quick. Music in this game, good for the most part. I just wish it had more personality. You know what I mean? Because in some of the fights, especially towards the later game, or like where you're fighting a really good boss, the music will go crazy. I don't know who they have on the vocals, but man, they do it really well. And they are doing a really good job. So whoever does that, you know, please give them a cookie. because the music in this game is great. If it wants to be, that's the problem. I wish for most of the other stuff, most of the other gameplay interactions, there's more of that vocals and good stuff, but, you know, still good nonetheless. Music is good. Other thing, art style. Art style in this game is a little bit of a letdown. I'm a big fan of cyberpunk. I love cyberpunk, the genre, and like just the aesthetic overall. Low life, high tech. Oh man, I love it so much. The grittiness mixed with the sci-fi-ness. Oh man, I love it. Honestly, I think it could be better. Because we start off with like the cyberpunk city, and I thought that we'd stay like that for a while, but it's no. Apparently, this game does quite a few different things when it comes to environments. There's a nightclub level. There's by far the worst one. The sewer level. That one was pretty bad. And then you have generic forest and other stuff. And then you have to break into like the DDO. And then it's like pure white. So everything just looks white and mechanical. And that's like, eh. Art style, not too bad. It could be a lot better. I wish they just committed to the cyberpunk thing and committed a bit more into more of a colorful art style, but then again, this is Ninja Gaiden after all, I can't really expect much. The last rapid fire thing I want to talk about is the camera. The camera in this game is fucking abysmal. First of all, I would highly suggest going into options and going to camera and then going all the way down to camera distance. Make it as big as you can, like either 9 or 10. You need to see the full screen. So please do that. And make sure you also make sure that you make the rotation speed up high. You see how I have it on 100? You're going to need it. 100%. Because like any Ninja Gaiden game, they will attack you off screen. They will not take their turn. They do not care if you do not see them. They will hit you. And yes, in this game there's a little exclamation point that pops up. But that is like, you know, you can't rely on that all the time. So just, you have to be careful with the camera, and the bosses in particular make it really impossible because for some reason the camera doesn't follow the bosses. Why? I don't know. We figured this out in the 2000s, yet in 2025 we can't find it out with this one, but whatever. Alright, right before we get to that, there's also the enemies. The enemies in this game, woo boy. The enemies in this game are actually pretty fun. I'd say that they're pretty fair. The long range ones and trying to get to them is a little bit difficult at times, but overall I'd say that this game's use of enemies is really, really good. Like, there's still a lot of issues with some of the enemies. I wouldn't say a lot, but like a good majority of issues. But it feels like they don't feel completely unfair. Okay, so here's the nice thing. This is actually something that I think is really cool about the enemies that I don't think I've ever seen from a hack and slash game. Not that I know of. So when you're in the air in most hack and slash games, the enemy just kind of goes, bye-bye. Bye-bye, and then you just fly up into the sky, and they're like, okay, well, I guess it's time to take my coffee break, you know what I mean? Because there's nothing the enemies can do at that point. Nothing. The enemies can try all they want, but it's pointless. However, in this game, as soon as you go up into the air, not only do some of the enemies have anti-air moves that they will hit you with, but some of the enemies will actually block you in the air. Meaning, if you are not careful and you do not pay attention, and you think, oh, I'll just do a fun air combo, and not use anything, you will get creamed. You will get a rude awakening. So, aside from that, enemies are good. Some of the enemies I really don't like the freaking lamps. I hate those things. They explode on you, and they kamikaze. It's fucking stupid. I hate those bastards. Okay, after enemies, let's talk about bosses. Bosses, apparently, in the Ninja Gaiden series, people don't like. I always love the bosses in Ninja Gaiden games. Especially if it's like a really good one. You know, it's just, you know, here's said moves. Here's the weaknesses. Figure it out, you know? And the bosses in this game, I think, are pretty good. All things considering. Do I think they need 2 health bars? Not really. But I do think that they're good. That 2 health bar system really does go a long way for helping you try and understand how the game works. So a good example of this is one of the bosses that you fight is like a tank. And this tank, super cool, like shoots lasers and stuff. And for the most part, you think it's okay because it's like got this little grinder thing. It looks like a little robot that you see in those little robot fights, you know. They like charge at you, and you're like, oh, this is easy. And then as soon as you get to the second health bar, the thing goes crazy. I was on stream and I thought it was so funny. The thing starts like shooting lasers, it's shooting off fireworks, and it's going in circles, and it's fucking all over the screen. It's great, man. It definitely gets more creative on the second phase. Sometimes it's not as hard as the first phase, so you just need to like get the hang of it. But there is a lot of cool things you can do with the bosses in this game. So, finally, Yakumo. Oh, baby. Okay, so I'm gonna be fully honest. What I've played so far, this might be one of my favorite hack and slash characters of all time. Yes, I mean that's including the reboot. That's including Dante. Everybody. This character is freaking baller. I love him so much. So first off, there's a lot of things you need to know about Yakumo's kit that you're gonna have to get used to, for the most part. So first off, the weapon that you start off with, the little katanas, or like the little mini things, are good and all, but you need to understand that this is just a starter weapon. This, out of all the weapons that you have in this game, this weapon right now is like the baby weapon. It's very basic. It'll hit you. It'll do some crowd control. It'll do some heavy attacks. But overall, the thing about this weapon is that it's very focused on the idea of just, throwing this out quickly. So it's good here, and then obviously it's good in the air. So that's really good. So that's fine and all. But by far the best part about this is its Blood Raven form. So the other thing you need to understand about Yakumo is that not only does he have access to 4 weapons, but he technically has access to 8 in total. So that means every weapon has a Blood Raven form. By simply holding one of the triggers, you unlock its heavy form, its Blood Raven form. So the dual swords turn into the big sword, and obviously you can see with my skin there, it looks sick. Anyway, but yeah, and obviously this comes with a variety of different movesets. This one is kind of like this one actually reminds me a lot of Arbiter from DMC Devil May Cry. There's a lot of DMC Devil May Cry in this game, that's for sure. Hit him with a good attack and then fall back. So, it's somewhat good at crowd control, but like I said, this is by far the worst weapon that you get. Now, the 3 other weapons, oh man, guys. I can't wait to break this down, which I plan to, like I said, I plan to make a video soon about the Yakumo's kit. Having said that, Yakumo is fucking fantastic with these weapons, and this is one of the reasons why. You see this one move, I didn't like it at first. I was like, this doesn't do that much damage. Why is this here? I don't understand. Why is this such a weapon in this game? This doesn't make any sense. This weapon, it kind of seems a little bit dull. Alright? But haters, okay? Think about it. Just a little bit more. Just think about it. The thing that really works about this little drill weapon is the fact that this is very, very good at playing the poke game. Which means that you can do this, and then this. So, that means that a lot of what you're doing with this weapon specifically is trying to focus on one enemy. So this is a really good weapon if you want to focus down one enemy. So let's say you've got a crowd of enemies and one is being very problematic. Zoom! You see, you don't really have much of a stinger in this game. You have like elements of it, but this is the closest thing you'll get. And this one goes straight for the enemy. So if you ever want to go after a certain enemy in a sea of enemies, I highly suggest using this move. This gets even better though. The weapon does get even better. You see, if you hold the Blood Raven form, you get to do this. But as you can see, this move is really good at doing this. This is where the idea of focusing on an enemy comes from. So if you want, let's just say you want to focus on an enemy, but you want to do a bit more damage and feel like you really want to drag it out. This is great against bosses, against certain enemy types, against heavy enemy types. It's great through the roof. It's great. Then that brings us to the bow staff. The bow staff is my second favorite in this game. Maybe not the first favorite. Maybe. I don't know. It's a bit of an up in the air between this and the Ninja Stars. But the bow staff, oh man. See, there's a lot of cool moves you can do with this bow staff. Obviously, in the air, you can do stuff like this, which is great. So, like I said, this is mostly used for crowd control. But this is where the Blood Raven form gets interesting, because as soon as you do the crowd control, you can then unlock the hammer. And the hammer does several things. The hammer can do some, like, it can generally do elements of crowd control, but for the most part, the hammer is used for a really good weapon. It's sort of like this one, but this one's a bit better. Just a bit. Because it's a little bit faster, and it hits a little bit harder. And it makes the weapon even better. So, like, I highly suggest using this weapon as soon as you get it. Getting used to it is one of the best parts about it, because, like I said, the hammer is really good, plus the hammer is really good, and then the bow staff itself is good at crowd control. So it does two things really well at once. Then there's also the Ninja Stars. Now, the Ninja Stars are weird, because they are amazing in every way. So the best way I can describe it is that it's a lot like Pandora from DMC4. Apparently there's a lot of DMC4 inspiration in this game. I don't know why. If you use the light attack, he will throw out Ninja Stars. So the first question you may be asking, well, in Ninja Gaiden games, B button or circle will always be your throwing stars. So why is there two of them? The answer is that I don't know. I don't know. Because the sad fact is that if you use this, then you're not doing it right because you have this. It's not worth it. Every time you're going to be in having long range, I highly suggest using these instead of the regular throws. This is good for, like, canceling maybe, but this is just way better in every way. This is like the perfect long range option. So there's that, but this is not the Pandora box type move yet. You see, my friends. There's a little bit more to this weapon. Because if you hit Y or triangle, this happens. You see, my friends, for some reason, this game decided to give this weapon freaking something. Because the normal light attack is just him throwing stars, but the heavy attack is him throwing out different melee weapons. He uses machetes, he uses maces, I think I saw nunchucks one time. I don't know, he's just like, this weapon is a little bit of everything. See, like, you can see the tonfas there, you can see the mace right there. I don't know what exactly they were going for, but yeah, this is a good one. Especially, okay, so there's one more thing I want to mention about this weapon that I think is really important. As soon as you get this weapon, I highly suggest doing this. You see that little bomb that he threw at the end? That bomb is almost a guaranteed deal-in for most enemies. So please use it. All you have to do is just spam X. So spam it, throw it out, and then, so if you want to play a boss and you're a little too scared and you think it's too risky, highly suggest just doing this. And then, for the Blood Raven form, you get this. Look. So you get the throw the stars, but even heavier now. And then, obviously, the melee attacks go crazier now. Even crazier somehow. I mean, it's like, this weapon is so good. It's fantastic. The last weapon to talk about is definitely the Dragon Sword. I don't have it equipped for some reason. You get it at the very end of the game. I don't know. I know you're supposed to get it somehow, but I don't know how. But I'll look it up later. But the Dark Dragon Blade, so, the reason why I think it's funny is because the Dark Dragon Blade, I was playing around with it, and I was like, here, XXY. That's familiar. And then I hit XY, and I was like, wait a second, this is just Ryu's sword. So, get this, not only does he get sidelined in his own series, he also, the one weapon that makes him different from Yakumo, is given to Yakumo. So, Ryu is just pointless in this game. So, I don't even know why they have him in this game. But the Dark Dragon Blade, like I said, plays exactly like Ryu, so. But overall, thoughts, Yakumo, so good. The air moves, oh man, being able to switch back and forth between 8 weapons, oh, it's so good. Like being able to switch weapons mid-air for once in a Ninja Gaiden game, oh, it is so nice. There's a lot of cool weapons like this. The weird thing that you're going to have to get used to is all the circle inputs. So you're going to have to get used to that. Alright, the final topic, to get it, because I love Yakumo, I plan to make a video on him, is the DLC. So this game, obviously, like I mentioned, Ryu only launched with one weapon. And Yakumo's got like 8, technically 9. So how do you compensate for that? Well, they found a little way to do it. And that is to give weapons via DLC. Now, a lot of people don't like this. They want weapons right off the bat, and that's understandable. However, I think that this is a good thing. I think hack and slash games need to focus more on DLC. Because the thing is that most hack and slash games, they release, and then just nothing happens. Look at DMC5, for example. We got the game, we got Bloody Palettes a month later, had to wait a whole year. Then we finally got Virgil, a character that has like most of his moveset the exact same as the previous games. Legendary Dark Knight mode, Turbo mode, and that's it. Like, it just really wasn't worth it. You know, they could have added so much more. They could have given Dante Agni and Rudra. They could have given him Aquila. They could have given, more weapons to Nero. They could have given him more burgers to Nero. But, that's just how it is. So, if Ninja Gaiden wants to do it, it wants to take the Hi-Fi Rush route where it's like they add content over time. Let them do it. Let them cook. Okay, guys? I know that sucks that we don't have every weapon at launch, but I am more than willing to wait and pay for it if they give us more content. I'm so glad a hack and slash game is finally doing that for a change. So thank you, Platinum Games, for doing that. Okay, with all that out of the way, I think that's going to be it. Yeah, that's kind of it for the overview. I had a lot of fun. This game is pretty great, honestly. Like I said, the story's a bit sucks. The level design sucks. Ryu only having one weapon, it sucks a little bit. But, hopefully with the DLC, they'll be able to fix that to a degree. So, yeah. Anyway. But yeah, this is a good game. Would I consider getting it? Yes. Even if this is your first Ninja Gaiden game, I think it's a good game to pick up and play. So, I'll leave it at that. Hopefully a new video next Friday for Yakumo, if not a few days after. So, we'll see. Anyway, we'll leave it at that. Thank you guys for stopping by. Don't forget to check out the main channel I stream. I stream the whole game, so if you want to, you can always check my playthrough out through the main channel. New video coming out soon on the main channel. I look forward to that, and yeah, that's it. See ya. Peace.